Hello and welcome to Rotted Reviews, and today I'm going to be filling the request of patron Ben Grimm by taking a look at the 1987 movie Blood Rage. Written by Bruce Rubin and directed by John Grissmer, this movie follows the characters of twin brothers Todd and Terry, both played by Mark Soper, as the movie opens with them being young boys at the drive-in movie theater, and Terry takes it upon himself to kill a couple of fornicating teens in a car and pins it on Todd, who is then sent away. Some years later, now both adults, on Thanksgiving, Todd decides to go ahead and break out of the mental institution he was being kept in, and when police report to the family that, hey, Todd is on the loose, Terry gets the inspiration, hey, my brother's out. I can pin whatever I want to. Oh boy, time to start killing again. And kill he does. All right, so when I asked Ben why review this movie, he says, Blood Rage has two elements I love, a holiday slasher and an apartment complex horror. I heard you were in search of a good Thanksgiving horror, so hope this works for you. Indeed I am. I always love a good Thanksgiving horror movie. Haven't had a whole lot of them. Pilgrim was decent. That was based on the Hulu series of Into the Dark, and then we've also had the Thanksgiving series. Again, still waiting for a good Thanksgiving movie. But yeah, I mean, I certainly won't turn it down, and sure enough, this one was pretty darn, well, at the very least, it was honest. I'm not going to say that this was a good movie. You know what? Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. Maybe I will. It's not a great movie, but for horror fans that love kills and blood and guts and no brains, this was actually pretty decent. Look, this is a weird position that I find myself in because I take myself a bit, maybe too seriously as a film critic, but one of the reasons that I wanted to start doing this channel was because I believe that horror really doesn't get a fair shake amongst film critics. But at the same time, I think that it gets a little bit too much forgiveness amongst fans that refuse to kind of look at things objectively and review movies kind of on their own merit and really acknowledge the faults that may be, lying underneath. And I kind of wanted to approach it from both sides, kind of pragmatically, to look at things and be very honest about them, but at the same time, through the lens of somebody that truly loves the horror genre. I mean, I love Roger Ebert and his film reviews, but I gotta be honest, a lot of his takes on the horror world were pretty shitty. I kind of wanted to take it upon myself to make some corrections and steer things in the right way so that if something is worthwhile as a horror film, I can say so honestly. And now we have Blood Rage. This was filmed in 1983. It didn't find its way into theaters until 1987. And again, I can't say that it was a good movie. I can say that I did enjoy it, though. I think by virtue of having it being set primarily in an apartment complex, there was a lot of interesting opportunities that were afforded this film that kind of aren't present in a lot of slashers these days. First of all, most slashers around the 1983 mark, let's be honest, are kind of taking place at a summer camp. We have Friday the 13th, we have The Burning, we have a lot of different instances of this, in which case we're kind of confined to the camp counselors, small group of individuals. This movie isn't afraid to just fucking keep adding victims. This was a lot of kills, and it just kept throwing more at the screen. But in that, there was also a whole lot of fun to be had. This was a remarkable effort for a movie that a lot of people haven't heard of. I honestly had not heard of it until Ben mentioned it to me, and I watched it, and I was just sitting there with a big old fucking grin on my face. The kills in this were actually fairly creative, well done, very bloody, very gory. The nature of the storyline between the two brothers, one blaming the other, and their honestly kind of almost Oedipus-like relationship with their mother was all right. Nothing really to write home about. It served the narrative well enough that it got the kills kicked off, and that was plenty fine for me. This is very much a turn brain off, watch blood splatter kind of movie, and in that regard, I actually found it to be very enjoyable. There have been plenty of instances in which the tastelessness of the film overrides whatever fun I might be having. A good example of that is Sleepaway Camp 3: Teenage Wasteland. I just couldn't rally behind that one because it was so fucking tasteless, and the humor in it was just so god-awful. Nothing about this was stellar, but nothing about it was distractingly awful, so I was able to just enjoy the mindless entertainment of the blood and guts and kills that this movie offered. It was actually kind of an interesting kind of distilled purity of the slasher essence. So I think this is an instance in which my score is going to kind of betray my recommendation, but at the same time, on both levels, I approach them with an equal level of honesty. The score kind of more reflects my critical opinion of it, my objective evaluation of it for its cinematic qualities. My recommendation is basically just how much fucking fun I had watching it. So if you like mid-80s slasher movies that employ a lot of good creative kills, I honestly cannot recommend enough Blood Rage. I'm very happy that Ben brought this one to my attention, and I'm very happy that you watched this video. I do hope you enjoyed it. Remember, next time you want to watch a horror movie, first make sure that it's good and rotted.